what was the outbreak? It went through, but only very light. Kind of difficult.
There's human beings living in this planet who all have.
Rocinha means little farm. This place used to be mostly farms. The favela was started at the bottom, but we had three main families that inhabited this land in the late 1920s, like late 1928, 28, 29. The three families that inhabited this area, one was a French family. They settled at the top of the hill in an area called La Bourdeau. We had Italians that settled here at the bottom in the area called the Via Appia. And then we had Portuguese family that settled here in Lago de Boiadeiro, which is where the farm originated. People used to sell vegetables here. In terms of the name favela, favela came from the plant that used to grow on the hills in the northeast of Brazil, but also grew downtown. The first official favela was formed in 1898, which still exists today, which is called Morro de Providencia, or Providence Hill. The result of why favelas came to be had to do with the end of slavery and the Canudos War in the Northeast. So we had the end of slavery in 1888. Soon after that, there was a War of Canudos, which is a settlement in the northeast of Brazil, and the ex-slaves were offered by the government to fight in this war to get rid of this settlement, and they were offered free housing and jobs, or at least access to low-income housing and jobs. So they fought in the war, and after that, a lot of people from the northeast migrated south to big cities like São Paulo, Curitiba, Rio, other big cities, of course, looking for work. Because back at the turn of the century, Rio was more of an industrial city. It wasn't as much as a tourist spot like it is now. Right now, we don't have a lot of industry or factories. A lot of the factories shut down in the 40s and 50s, but the people remained. So in regards to the favela issue, when the people came to settle these new areas, like in Rio, they arrived in the city and they were able to find jobs, but they weren't able to find affordable housing. So when they went to the government said, oh, well, we don't have housing for you. So they lied. Go build your houses in the hills. And that's exactly what the people did. So the term favela came from the first occupied hill, which is Morro de Providencia, which is downtown. So that's how favelas came to be. So because a lot of the people in the Northeast tend to be very family-oriented, they would come, they would settle a hill, and then later on their relatives would come. So a lot of what you see here is people from the Northeast of Brazil, and of course a lot of their relatives have come. This favela, in terms of Rocinha, this favela is probably about 75% people from the Northeast of Brazil, like the original settlers are from the Northeast of Brazil. If you're used to having absolutely nothing, or little or nothing, and then you come to a place like this where, you know, it's certainly not perfect. I'm not trying to say that this is some perfect place, because it isn't. It has its challenges and problems. But, you know, here you have a sturdy house. You know, you've been in my house. The floors are tiled. The bathroom does work. The shower does work. You know, you have these kind of things. You know, you have the basic necessities. I mean, people are very simple. That's all they really want is the basic necessities. Anything above that is a bonus, you know. So if you're able to earn enough money to buy that flat screen TV or whatever you want, then that's a bonus. But just to be able to live into a place where, you know, you have enough food in your stomach, you can feed your kids. There's a lot of social class problems here and social exclusion. So if you're from a favela, a lot of people lie and they won't say they're from a favela, or they get an address outside the favela when they apply for jobs, but there's still a stigma about living in a favela. But I think, you know, when it comes to human nature, we all just want the basic needs. I mean, we just want shelter, food, opportunity, a job, and a decent place to raise our kids.
Safe, you know, a nicer area to go.
Well, I mean, you know, when you say stereotype, there always is some truth to it. I mean, I'm not going to deny it. Well, of course we have drug traffic here. Yeah, we have guys with guns. You guys have seen them today. But if you notice, they don't do anything. You know, I mean, it's obvious you guys are foreigners, and they didn't stop us. They didn't talk to us. They don't put your gun. They don't put the gun at you. They don't. You know, I've found that if you're not involved with the drug traffic in any way, the chances are you'll never have a problem with it. I've never had a problem with it.
Wait, one more. One more. One more.
Well, I mean, I think everybody knows about the drugs only because that's what the news says. You know, when people watch television, unfortunately, all you see is negative things. But I mean, we have capoeira, boxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, samba. We have ballroom dancing classes. You know, last night I'm here in the computer and I'm hearing Pink Floyd. You know, like I've heard Slayer and Metallica music here. It's hard to say. I mean, people would have to come and live here to kind of absorb it and feel it, because there is a lot more than just the drugs and the gangs. You know, I don't have fear walking in the street. You know. Just because I'm not involved. I've never had anybody here in the favela come up and offer me drugs. They figure if you live here that you know where to get it. Yeah, which I mean, you know, they say in Rio de Janeiro, approximately 1 in every 3 people is from favela. We're having a lot of lower class people that live outside that are moving into development now because they're rich too high. And we don't have public housing, we don't have welfare. You know, we get nothing. You're unemployed? No? Oh, well, if you're
Trabalho, eu sou regional, faço esse trabalho, só que na Rocinha, através dele que eu sobrevivo aqui, na Rocinha. E aqui você tem duas partes, tem o lado bom e o lado ruim. Você tem que escolher o lado bom e o lado ruim para trabalhar. Eu escolhi o lado bom, que é o trabalho que eu faço, a minha cultura, esse trabalho que eu faço aqui na Rocinha.
A tua irmã falou, não, que quando eu fui de manhã, eu vou passar aí depois. Estou na barraca. Vocês tiraram a xerox dos documentos, velho? Ah, tá, tá bom. Vou passar aí no
Eu sou tubarão, direto do Rio de Janeiro para a Alemanha.
Like, how much is
Alemanha.
I've never had to.
Quero saber, aproximadamente, quanto custa para um desenho muito pequeno? Talvez tipo assim.
Say,
É 50, 70, o quê?
Qual tipo de desenho?
And he's asking what type of what a trophy for that.
Jesus.
Yeah? He likes the garden.
Manda beijinho pro tio.